Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today I will analyze the case of Shamsud-Din Jabbar. First I'll look at the background of this case, move to the timeline of the crime, then offer my analysis. Shamsud-Din Bahar Jabbar was born on October 26, 1982, and was raised in Beaumont, Texas. In 2002, he was arrested for misdemeanor theft. He was arrested again in 2005, this time for driving with an invalid license. In 2007, Shamsud-Din enlisted in the Army, where he served as a human resources specialist. He was deployed in Afghanistan in 2009. He also served in Alaska and North Carolina. In 2010, he earned an associate's degree from Central Texas College. In November 2014, he was caught driving while intoxicated. Shamsud-Din pleaded guilty in May 2015 and received 24 hours of community service. He left active duty service in the Army and became a reservist. He also changed jobs from human resources to information technology. In 2017, Shamsud-Din earned a bachelor's degree in computer information systems from Georgia State University. 2 years later, he obtained his real estate license in the state of Texas. In 2020, Shamsud-Din was honorably discharged from the Army at the rank of staff sergeant. He started his own real estate company. In a video posted on social media, Shamsud-Din referred to himself as a fierce negotiator who could brilliantly market property. In 2021, he took a job with a consulting company where he earned $120,000 a year. This job was related to data management. His real estate license would later expire. It looks like he gave up on real estate. Shamsud-Din once again found himself in trouble with the law. In December 2022, he pleaded guilty to misdemeanor theft and was sentenced to 9 months of community supervision. As far as his personal life, Shamsud-Din married at some point and had 2 daughters. His first daughter was born sometime around 2004. The marriage ended in divorce. In 2017, Shamsud-Din married again and had a son. He filed for divorce in July 2020, citing irreconcilable differences. However, he and his wife decided to drop that case. Their optimism may have been misplaced. Ultimately, the couple filed for divorce again in September 2022. It was finalized in September 2024. Now moving to the timeline of the crime. According to investigators, Shamsud-Din planned a vehicle ramming attack. Here are the allegations which have been made against him. On December 30, 2024, Shamsud-Din rented a Ford F-150 Lightning pickup truck in Houston, Texas, using the car-sharing app Turo. He then drove toward New Orleans, Louisiana. During the drive, Shamsud-Din recorded 5 videos at night, which he posted on social media. In the videos, he referred to his divorce, talked about how he had dreams which inspired him to join ISIS, and offered his last will and testament. Shamsud-Din also mentioned how he planned on gathering his family together for a fake celebration in order to murder them. Ultimately, he decided against that course of action. After arriving in New Orleans, Shamsud-Din rented an Airbnb in the St. Roch neighborhood. He planted 2 explosive devices filled with nails in the French Quarter. In the pickup truck, he placed a 3rd explosive device, also containing nails. It was set up to be remotely detonated. The remote was in the vehicle as well. Shamsud-Din had an AR-style rifle and a pistol ready for the attack. He placed an ISIS flag on the trailer hitch of the truck. On January 1, 2025, New Year's Day, there were several celebrations in the French Quarter, as would be expected. Law enforcement maintained a heavy presence in the area during these celebrations. At 3:15 a.m., Shamsud-Din drove the Ford F-150 Lightning pickup truck northwest on Canal Street. When he reached Bourbon Street, he turned right, driving over the sidewalk to get around barricades and a police SUV, which were protecting the street. He then sped down Bourbon Street, slamming into pedestrians. Before he reached Conti Street, Shamsud-Din crashed into a boom lift. He exited his vehicle and started firing a weapon. 3 officers fired at Shamsud-Din, killing him. 15 people, including Shamsud-Din, were killed in the attack. Over 30 people were injured, including 2 police officers. Later on New Year's Day, at 8:37 a.m., a Tesla Cybertruck exploded outside the Trump International Hotel in Paradise, Nevada. The driver, Matthew Allen Leivelsberger, was killed in the attack. The vehicle was rented on Turo, the same app that Shamsud-Din had used. Matthew served at the same military base as Shamsud-Din. Despite this, the FBI stated there was no definitive link between the two attacks. It's worth noting that the investigation is in its early stages. More information about both of these attacks will almost certainly be uncovered. Now moving to my analysis. Here are my thoughts on a few areas that stood out to me in this case. Item number 1. The FBI indicated that Shamsud-Din Jabbar acted alone. Initially, they did not believe this, but as they gathered more information, the FBI changed their opinion. According to his brother, Shamsud-Din was a nice, smart, and caring guy who converted to Islam at a young age. A friend said that Shamsud-Din became more interested in the religion sometime after 2017. One of his ex-wives said that he was acting erratically in the months leading up to the attack. At the time of his death, Shamsud-Din had been living in a rough-looking trailer park in Houston, Texas. Sheep, goats, ducks, and chickens roamed the yard. Item number 2. In addition to being arrested 4 times, Shamsud-Din encountered many other conflicts during his life. In 2012, he was sued for child support. In 2020, he was the target of a temporary restraining order filed by his ex-wife. During the divorce proceedings in 2022, he complained that he owed $27,000 in mortgage payments, was carrying $16,000 in credit card debt, and lost $28,000 in his real estate business. He also indicated that 2 other companies he started were not worth anything. He had hired an attorney, but the attorney withdrew after Shamsud-Din experienced difficulty with effectively communicating. Item number 3. The route that Shamsud-Din drove during his ramming attack had been protected by barricades. However, in preparation for the Super Bowl, they had been removed for repairs. In the meantime, the police relied on using vehicles to block those areas. Shamsud-Din easily defeated this system by simply driving on the sidewalk. This was not a particularly sophisticated attack. Shamsud-Din did not have any specialized training in explosives in the military. None of the explosive devices detonated, including the one in his vehicle. Item number 4. What do I think happened in this case? This is just a theory, my opinion. Shamsud-Din was an impulsive individual who liked to break the rules. He managed to have some degree of success in the military, but was unable or unwilling to restrict his consumption of alcohol. After his military career ended, he started several companies hoping to hit it big in real estate, but he ended up losing money. Similarly, success in the area of romance was difficult for Shamsud-Din to obtain. The theme of loss permeated his existence. He was a failure in every domain and became increasingly angry. He largely blamed others for his failures. At some point, he decided he wanted to commit homicide to make people pay for his poor decisions and bad fortune. This was inconsistent with his belief system, but Shamsud-Din was desperate to become a killer. He searched for a belief system which would allow him to rationalize his way of thinking. This is what led him to embrace an extreme form of Islam. He was now permitted to view his own homicidal beliefs as normal, pro-social, and even noble. This gave him a sense of purpose. Now, in his mind, he was actually a hero because of his desire to kill. Shamsud-Din had found a welcoming place for his hatred. There was still one problem that kept coming up. Even though homicide was embraced by this distorted version of his religion, killing family members was not acceptable. Shamsud-Din was not allowed to do that. He was only permitted to kill strangers. This really didn't satisfy his need for revenge, but it was close enough. Murdering innocent people in the street represented an acceptable outlet from his perspective. Shamsud-Din recognized that vehicle ramming attacks are tricky to execute because people move out of the way. This is why he selected an electric vehicle. The Ford F-150 Lightning is not only quiet, it has a lot of torque and acceleration compared to its internal combustion counterparts. Shamsud-Din wasn't trying to be an eco-friendly terrorist. Rather, he was trying to maximize the lethality of his attack. This truck was a little more expensive to rent, but that didn't matter. Saving money was pretty low on his list of priorities by this point. His primary interest was making an unforgettable exit. Considering how incompetent Shamsud-Din was, he should have been relatively ineffective at carrying out this attack. Unfortunately, he found help from unwitting accomplices. The authorities had decided to remove barriers that protected the streets where partygoers gathered. Shamsud-Din exploited this failure and murdered innocent people. Those are my thoughts on the attack perpetrated by Shamsud-Din Jabbar. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon.